Hey there, Samuel Larsen here from CROGurus.com. Now, in this video, you're going to learn whether you should focus on traffic acquisition or whether your main focus should be on converting the traffic that you're already getting. Now, this is an eternal debate. There's always going back and forth between traffic and conversion optimization people, whether traffic is more important or whether conversion rate optimization is more important. Now, obviously, I'm on the CRO camp by default, but I'm going to provide my most objective viewpoint possible here and really take into account both sides of the story. Now, obviously, you need both things to succeed. You cannot have conversions without traffic, and you cannot keep up with traffic a lot or a long time without conversions. So that is a multiplier effect. The amount of customers you're going to get is your traffic multiplied by your conversions. So the formula won't work without either of these parts, and they are really just levers to pull. So it does come down to both of them working. Now the answer comes largely down to timing. So I'm going to make a big assumption here. And it is a big assumption, but I'm going to assume that your store is already half decent. You're watching my videos and you're focusing a little bit on conversion rate optimization at least. So let's assume that you don't have these big holes to plug where you could instantly go and change a couple elements and maybe up your conversion rate by 50%. That's not going to happen here. So you're in a position where your business model is already somewhat proved. So you know that you have a winning combination of products and you have found your target audience. Because before that, you are looking to optimize a business that is not proven yet. And that would for sure be a mistake. Because conversion rate optimization is not this kind of magic bullet. You go and you implement and suddenly your business triples or something like that. So you need to have a good working solid baseline, and you can't optimize on anything that is not already functioning. So that's the first thing that you need to be aware of. So before this point, you can of course tweak things, but you should not run a full-scale conversion optimization program. That just won't make any sense because it's not justifiable with any kind of numbers, and you're just basically either losing money if you're running with an agency, or you're losing a lot of time and focus from other things that you could be doing yourself. So remember, it's optimization. It is not business model validation. It is not magic, and it is not something that will transform your business from a bad business into a great business. That said, I have had cases where you were started with a bad store and that has flipped the business. But right now we're assuming your store is already decent, so that's not the case here. So these are the three key questions to consider when you're thinking whether you should focus on traffic or conversion rate optimization. First of all, have you fully proved your business model? Do you have a winning combination at hand here? Or are you hoping that optimizing for conversions will just flip that business model from a bad business model into a good one? So if you're the kind of person that is wishing that, okay, if we triple our conversion rate, then this business will be profitable or break even, then you're probably still looking for that fit with the market, and you should be focusing on other things than optimizing. You're basically optimizing a third if you go that way. Next question. We all know that traffic gets more expensive as you scale. So that first click will be cheaper than the 1,000th click, and that 1,000th click will be cheaper than the 100,000th click. And it's also probably less relevant as that person as you scale your reach. But question number two, are you hitting those diminishing marginal returns with your ads and with the traffic? So this question is important because you want to avoid that entrepreneurial ADD where you're just chasing the next shiny object. And in that case, you end up running in circles a little bit and you're not really getting anywhere. Because there's always that like million things you could focus on. Like you could focus on customer support, you could focus on shipping, you could focus on finding better partners, etc. Like the list is never ending, and the list is basically always getting longer as you continue with your business. Like first of all, like you might have like, okay, let's design a business name and like think of the logo, and then once like Jeff Bezos level, you probably have a million things you could focus on. So keep in mind that you don't want to be chasing those shiny objects. Third question, can you actually justify an investment in CRO? So if you're bootstrapping, does this make sense financially to seek a conversion rate improvement of, let's say, 20% and then compare that to the cost of that program? So that could be outsourced cost, or it could be an in-house cost, or it could be a cost in terms of your time. But CRO is definitely not cheap. You need quality people because otherwise you're just doing random things, and not that many people still don't know, or many people don't know how to do CRO effectively and how to do it right. For this, I recommend that you calculate it out. So, okay, this is my revenue, this is my profit. What if I get a 20% improvement on this? So obviously your revenue will go up like 20%, your profit will go up a lot more because that's an additional revenue based on the ad spend. Like, so okay, ad spend is here, revenue is here, profit is somewhere in the middle, and the profit will be most impacted. And after that, just compare the cost not only to that CRO program, but to your other investments that you could be making. You could invest that into ads and get that similar return as you have so far, most likely, or a little bit less as it is diminishing. But there is alternative investments that you could pursue. Now, those are the three questions to answer, and really ponder them thoroughly. Now, I'm going to go into a couple of cases, and I want to, before we jump into those, I want to give a little bit of a warning here. Traffic tends to be the default that people focus on, because that's what we start with, and we have this tendency to keep doing the familiar. We have this tendency to keep doubling down on what works. But remember here that what got you this far is not necessarily the thing that is going to get you all the way to where you want to be. So what got you to, let's say, 100K a month is probably not going to be the same thing that got you to a million a month. Because if that was the same thing, you would already be closer to that end goal. Now, with that in mind, there's 3 successful clients that I've had at ProGurus that we've been working with. And there's the low level, the mid level, and the high level client. And they all have their place in the CRO process. Now, obviously, we tweak this process a little bit differently to them. So the $10 million a year client is not going to have the same service as the mom and pop shop. Because yeah, they need to go deeper, and of course the wins that you're able to get multiply a lot more with that revenue that they have. But first of all, it's just a small level client that has a Shopify store, and they're just looking to have it reviewed by an expert. So a conversion rate optimization audit project, and they want the facts of, okay, what could be the wins that we could achieve here with relatively low investment. So we want ideation of, okay, what to do, why, and recommendations of actions. And then typically they just give that to a developer, and the developer goes ahead and implements that. Very easy, very straightforward for the client. And this is often the case where if they don't have any e-commerce experience, their store might be actually doomed because of this, because there's just so many mistakes and there's no value proposition. It's just like, it's basically, in many cases, they have done everything wrong they could, but I still give tremendous respect to these people because they started and they put that out there, and they did start with the traffic and everything like that. Many people never get to that far at all. So respect those people, but they are the ones where we just do a zero audit and basically send them over their way. Maybe they come back at this second phase where they are looking to scale. They have validated now their business model, and now they want to scale their traffic. Now, in these kind of cases, because traffic is expensive and you basically have to pay more for every user you acquire, you want to make sure that you get the maximum out of every single click. Oftentimes you start hitting this ceiling a little bit where, okay, we're doing everything right on the ad side, but it is going to this leaky bucket where things are falling apart, and then users going in circles, a lot of water is coming down the bucket and not that many conversions. So that's a waste, and what we seek to do here is eliminate that waste. Once we do that with a very similar process in the first case, they will be able to get a lot more out of those clicks, and with that they will also be in a position where they can then scale those ads. So if you are getting, let's say, $1 of revenue per visitor, it's a lot different to scale your traffic compared to, let's say, 70 cents. Oftentimes you can 3x, 4x your traffic and still get the same amount of profit per visitor. Now the third thing, or the third kind of client that is successful with CRO, is the big client. And here they are successful not because their store would be bad or they wouldn't be able to scale their ads very profitably. They're already there. They have had traffic and they have made some profits. So with this kind of client, what we're looking to do is go more into the in-depth details and just squeeze out that last few percentage points from them, and then every smallest win that we can find, we can get, is going to make a big impact on their bottom line. And that's really what it comes down to. So they already have a high ad spend and they might not be able to even spend that much more, but they can definitely be a lot more profitable with that ad spend. And here we look also into how to optimize average order value and how to optimize purchase frequency. So it moves just from this conversion rate optimization, front end optimizing for the first sale, to optimizing for sale order and also for the purchase frequency. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe right now. There's a lot more great videos like this one coming. And if you want your store audited, head over to zerogurus.com/apply and let's talk further. All right, that's it. Thank you and see you in the next video. Cheers.